Lewis has done it again.
It's all Fernando Bale, the champion, well clear of Waymore's Blues, and Fernando Bale.
And welcome back to Racing, Pacing and Chasing. We're here now with our racing show into general news, Rocky, and let's kick off. Hugh Bowman. Big news.
We spoke about Huey last week, injuring his finger and jokingly saying if it was Winks he would have been somehow back on the horse, but he's missing this week and he's missing a couple of terrific rides on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's missing out on Osborne Bulls in the shorts. It's a $500,000 race, and then later in the day he's missing out on Happy Clapper, who's always in the market, always in the frame, and that's another $500,000 race as well. So there's a bit of not going in Huey's pocket this weekend, maybe.
I still question if Winks was around, if he would have bandaged it up. It's a debate many would be having at the kitchen table or the front bar, you could say. But
well, I reckon whoever jumped on Winks would have put the super glue on the saddle, mate. Try and get me out, Huey.
But it's interesting how he was riding Winks and Happy Clapper was always the bridesmaid, and now he's on Happy Clapper. They said, we want you aboard. But,
that's right.
So obviously Glenn Boss jumps aboard Happy Clapper this week in the Colgate Stakes, and James McDonald gets the steer on Osborne Bulls. So, to Osborne, both of them well in the market. Osborne Bull 650, third favourite in the shorts, and that's going to be a cracking race.
Well, he gets back Osborne Bulls and he comes home so hard. It must be fantastic to sit on a horse that's just mowing him down like that. Yeah, no, certainly. And moving straight along to we've got Sunlight, so she's second up this week. So bit of a fan of yours. So you're a fan of I think she's a really, really good mare. She was a great filly as a 2 and 3 year old, and she's one that's been able to take that next step as a mare, which not a lot of them do, and stay at the very, very top. Last week it's only a 6-horse field and she finished 5th, I think, and faded over the last 150. And on face value, people say, well, she looked a bit disappointing behind Red Zell, until you realise the quality of the horse that she was against. And also they ran on their last 600 a tick under 33, and she was still going pretty well. So she's had 1 placing out of 6 first up runs. So it's not her go. Unbeaten second up, which you'll find this week in the shorts, and I think $13 is pretty big value for
I've just seen $15, so she has drifted.
Wow.
So if you've taken 13s, you might want to cash your bet in and take a little bit longer. But we talked about last week about Classique Legend and Red Zell, and Classique Legend is the favourite in the shorts. It's come up at $4, and Red Zell $4.80. So it's going to be a great battle there. Obviously, those two are much heat around. McAvoy taking the ride on Red Zell, but as we said last week, you couldn't get off Red Zell, really. She's
been a funny horse, betting-wise, the last 3 or 4 starts, Red Zell, that they just keep offering up a price that you say, I want to back her. And we said last week, 15 million in the bank, but they're still dishing up 7s and nearly $5 on a horse that's that good.
Yeah, they want to keep potting champions, but I'm sure the team behind them would happily take it, and plenty of owners. It's a great group of owners as well. Moving along to Caulfield on Saturday, so we do have the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes over the 1400, and one of the he's some chance at $11. Dispatch, owned by a very close mate in Graham Fisher.
Yes, fantastic.
He'll be making the trip over. There's no ABR runners at Globe on Saturday night, so I reckon Fisher.
Do you reckon he'll put ABR horses before?
Absolutely not. He hasn't before, and no doubt he wouldn't. I'd be going to the Sir Rupert Clarke.
Yeah.
But, he's certainly right in the market at $11. The Sir, it will be an interesting race. You got some good up and coming sprinters like Be Good to Your Mother. What a great name that is.
It is a good name.
$3.60. The old war horse, Blackheart Bart, 9-year-old now, he's back.
Well, it was trained by Darren Weir, the infamous Darren Weir, and then was actually retired as an 8-year-old. And Lindsay Smith from Perth has grabbed hold of it and said, I reckon I can get another win or 2 out of it. I don't know whether he's dreaming or not, but gee, he ran home well first up as well, Blackheart Bart. So he's got to be in the race because he's just a unbelievable try.
Yeah.
He never thinks he's beaten. So
he'll finish. You'd expect him to finish in the top half of the field, and at $71, he's going to be close enough if handy. So it is the first Group 1 for the spring at Caulfield, and I was just going through the list of the Group 1s we've got coming up. We talk about the Spring Carnival. You've got obviously start with the Sir Rupert Clarke, and then in a few weeks' time we lead into the Everest and the Kosciuszko on the same day. And then we really heat up with the Caulfield Cups, the Cox Plate, the Melbourne Cup. It just doesn't get any better. And what a time of year to be starting this show and talking about things racing.
That's right. And I mean, I've been to the last 15 Rupert Clarke meetings, not for any reason except I go over to watch the footy every prelim final weekend, which coincides with the Rupert Clarke. And because it is the first Group 1, the crowd is massive for a standard Saturday, really, except for a couple of group races. But everyone goes to the birdcage to look at the superstars either having their first or second up run in the first Group 1. It's a terrific day at the races.
Can our golden girl Jamie Carr do the 2 Group 1s in a row? She obviously gadding last week in the Mackay Diva. This week she rides a single figure shot. I think Sosa Bond might be $8 or $9, but got a very good chance.
He's in the form of his life, Sosa Bond, and he goes very, very well at Caulfield. It's taken him 5 years to work the horse out, but I think the Hayes camp has found it, and he's a live chance.
Yeah, 100%. What a story that'd be.
Yeah.
Moving back to Adelaide, so we come back to home soil as well. There is plenty going on all over the country. We've got at Morphettville the Tokyo City Cup, and that's $100,000 over the 1,800 metres. Couple to feature in that. Last week's Balaclava Cup winner Brown Ben well in the market. It's $8, and a good mate of mine owns Tatouche as well, $7. So he might even be making a trip over from Port Lincoln. So it's an even field. There's no standouts in the race, but good to see the action starting to heat up at Morphettville as well.
Well, we spoke about this last week as well, that the Balaclava Cup was all SA jockeys and all SA trainers, so all the money stayed here. It looked like there was going to be a couple of Victorians coming over for this $100,000 race, but I reckon the majority of the live chances are South Australian horses, South Australian jockeys, so it's terrific to see that as well. Yeah,
100%. Now, two other things I want to touch on. I think hot topics. Arcadia Queen, the Theo Marks last week, very impressive. There was a big build up to her, and Chris Wallace just produced another star mare. Big spring ahead for Arcadia Queen, and much hype going into the Everest.
She's a star. Just pure pace.
Second one, Mystic Journey. I know it got beat to Gadding. I was still happy with its run from an outsider looking in, but probably what I want to just touch on a little bit is the barrage that Adam Trinder's copped on social media, and also phone calls. You talk about in the mounting yard after the race. Unfortunately, and I read Tony McAvoy's comment, and I read the story quite in depth. It is this day and age, and as he said a decade ago, you would have had to front up eye to eye to the person to get that across. You know, if you wanted to say something, and there was none of that, but. Adam Trinder's done a wonderful job with this horse, and full credit to him. He's got this horse over from Tasmania, come here, he settled it into different surrounds a couple of times now. He's made the decision to take it home. It was on a 10 o'clock, the boat, the 10 o'clock the next morning, to prepare it and be back for the Cox Plate. Give the man a break.
Well, mate, there's 2 trainers out of Tasmania. One is Adam Trinder, and the other one is Scott Brunton. If they bring horses over to the mainland, you might as well back them. They are such good trainers, and their horses just maintain form. You don't ever see a 9 or a 0 in the form of their horses. They bring them here because they think they can win every race they're in, and pretty much they're in the top 4 every time. And that horse just, things didn't go its way, but
didn't go its way. But you don't expect to get beat by 100. You don't expect to get beat by 101 pot. And I just must add, for people to slanderous comments against Adam and the horse. This is why people and the public watch racing for horses like Mystic Journey, and probably a bit harsh to be touted the next winks at times, but it's a horse that we turn the TV on, and you wanted to watch Mystic Journey, the excitement machine she was, and there is that doubt leading into each race. Will she? Won't she? That's what racing's about this time of year.
Would they have carried on if the winner was 9-2?
100%, no. If it was the second favourite, it went down a lip. Gadding, well done to the connections. They come over from Perth. They've done an excellent job as well, but. Full credit to that. Mystic Journey hasn't lost me as a admirer. I'm looking forward to the Cox Plate.
Way.
Anyway, that's a great general news wrap-up for our racing show this week. But we better get straight into our first segment, which is 3 Wide No Cover, thanks to our sponsors at Punt Club. So let's get straight into it. 3 Wide No Cover. And back with our segment 3 Wide No Cover. So thanks to our sponsor Punt Club. Right, we're going to go over to you. You like finding one of those hard luck stories for our punters.
Oh, mate, I've been waiting for the show since I saw this replay on Saturday night. It's a horse called Nipperkin that I found at Morphettville in the replays, race 6, number 6. Mate, it settled last.
Write that down, race 6, right, okay, better go back and watch this.
Yep, it settled last on the fence. It was still last at the top of the straight, and jockey brought one off the fence, then went back down. Still last at the 200, and then finally got to the outside and just rocketed home over the last 200. Still been beaten a length, but I reckon we watch the replay here, mate, and you have a look at the Barry Brook train gelding in the brown colours with white spots and a green cap, and it is airborne in the last 150 metres. Probably makes up 5 lengths to get beaten a length, and was in front 30 metres after the line. So let's have a look at this.
They draw to the line. Aguilet.
Well, Rock, race 6, number 6 is an eye catcher certainly, and I'll be with you next start.
Good on you, mate.
Black Book it. So we go to Rose Hill. Watch Dyslexic here in the Team Hawks barn. That team absolutely airborne the Hawks barn at the moment.
Yep, they
Travelled
are.
in the race beautifully. Ran into it, then fell apart for Jay Ford trying to find a run. That's a typical hard luck story.
Yep.
They got home the last 600 in 33.5. We talk about Sunlight and Red Zell just clocking 33. It's run 33.5 and Dyslexic was half pace for at least the last 100, just climbing over their hills.
Yep, saw the race.
Started 950, but you won't see those odds again because Butterworth, you'll be on.
I'll be on.
You'll be on. But watch for the light blue colours on the fence and then put the name in your black book. Let's have a look at the replay now, the last 150 metres.
On the outside, it's Fasika, Champagne Cuddles. Dyslexic still can't get out. Mizzy's kicking back on the rails. It's Mizzy in front from Champagne Cuddles, Fasika. Mizzy's going to win. Mizzy by a half length to Fasika. Then Champagne Cuddles. What a nightmare there for Dyslexic.
Put that in your black book, Rock. Dyslexic from the Team Hawks barn.
Don't have pockets big enough, mate. You back those two?
Well, you've got plenty of big pockets. You, had the, you told me you had the first 4 in the Piranha Media maiden handicap today at Gawler. So
Twice?
Twice, yeah. So no, that was 52,000. I've done the sums. So you can spare $50 for both of those each way next start.
Yep.
3 wide, no cover, thanks to our great support of Punt Club.
Terrific.
Download the app today and let's get your syndicate ready. You know, I'll be on your syndicate, just you and me this year. If you're going to invest and win that sort of money, start building your bank like you already have for Melbourne Cup this year. But you know, it's a stress-free way to run a syndicate, and they're a great.
Well,
team
everyone
to
knows,
jump
mate. You start a syndicate with mates at a pub, and you think this is going to be great. We'll get 10 of us in, and we'll put in $5 a week, and by about round 4. Some blokes are $15 behind.
Yeah.
You know, so this just does it all for you. It's perfect.
Yeah, 100%. So that's our 3 wide no cover segment. We'll be back with In the Money. Back within the money, thanks to the Women in Racing magazine. And Rock, you found one in Spanish Whisper.
I did. I followed Spanish Whisper last time in, and I got tipped it numerous times, and it didn't fire. It just wouldn't settle. I actually saw it rip at Clark Stakes Day this time last year, and it was tipped to me by numerous punters. And in the parade ring, it just sweated up, and it was, you know, it was gone before it got out in the track. It still had a preparation where it could finish 5th, 6th, 7th, but you just feel like if the Hayes camp are spruiking a horse like that, they obviously see something at home, and it just didn't bring it to the races. This time in, it's had 2 starts for a terrific second, and then the last start at 1 at Flemington. It hasn't got super top speed, but it's always on the pace. It's always in the race. So when they do sprint up, he's got that 4 or 5 lengths head start on the ones coming from the rear, and he's tough. And I reckon that this time in, she's going to be a really strong mare. They've nominated for the Epsom Handicap, so when you see things like that, I reckon that they've still got that massive opinion of the horse. Now, it may not go, it'll get them a lightweight and be a live chance. But if they want to do that and then stay in Melbourne for the mares races, she's going to be competitive with whatever she goes in this spring, I reckon.
I reckon if you follow racing, pacing and chasing, you won't go wrong this spring with some of these tips.
Plenty of winners.
Black bookers everywhere.
Yep.
In the money, so in the money this week, Spanish Whisper for this week, thanks to our Ladies in Racing magazine. Jump on to www.ladiesinracingmagazine.com.au and subscribe today, the only national publication dedicated to women.
Yep.
In the sport of kings, and at just $33 per year, not
So
per
cheap.
week, month, $33 per year subscription. Why are you waiting?
Yeah, too right.
Anyway, Rock, time to clear the diary.
Yep.
You've been a big footy man, and the footy dust's about to settle. 2 weeks,
It
you're
is.
going over for the prelim final, and you will be dusty on Monday morning when you return to Adelaide. But it's time to put our concentration into horse racing. We did mention before all the Group 1s coming up, and we're looming towards the Caulfield Cup. That's only, you could say, 4 weeks away now.
Well, how's the increase in prize money there?
Unbelievable.
66% on last year.
You put some of your first 4 money towards it.
Wow. No, they don't see that, mate.
Yeah. Yes, they do. They see it back.
But to increase it by that much in 1 year, they've got one goal in mind, haven't they? And that is get all the internationals over earlier, and maybe bring a partner for the Melbourne Cup that isn't such a good chance in the 1.5 mile race of Caulfield Cup, but bring another one that they think can win the Caulfield Cup. You wait this year, mate. There'll be internationals chock-a-block in the Caulfield Cup, and our good stayers will be competing in that and the Melbourne Cup. There'll be no sitting it for one or the other, like they have done the last 5 years. I mean, Bart Cummings was the best at winning the Caulfield Cup, and then winning the Melbourne Cup with the same horse. That kind of stopped a while ago, in about 1999, I think it was maybe Might and Power. But since then, it's been set for one. They won't do that this year. They'll be wanting to get the $5 million curtain raiser of the Caulfield Cup into
not a bad curtain raiser. Yeah.
into whatever.
But just some of the money on offer with the Everest and the Golden Eagle. You know, we talk about the Golden Eagle as well. So Melbourne competing hard against Sydney there. So it's a great time of year, and with the money going around, it's only increasing. But last year's Melbourne Cup winner Yucatan is currently favourite for the Caulfield Cup. But it's 4 weeks out, and they're still betting $15 the field, basically. You know,
it hasn't run since last Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup, mate.
Right, it'll be sitting there in the Lloyd Williams camp somewhere. Yeah. So, and the best of the locals, obviously, Mr. Quickie, good run, ran third on the weekend, $16. So just timing into it nicely, and that team's certainly flying as well.
It's that time of the year, mate, where you've just got to take your chance on the horse that you like. Because they only have to run one really good race, and they'll go from 16s to 6s before you know it. Yeah. And then you won't back it at all because you say, oh, not backing that, I've missed the 16s, and find something else to lose your money on. Yeah. So, to me, if you like a horse in the Melbourne Caulfield Cups, back them now.
What's yours that you think you can do the double, just quickly for punters? We've set in the money, but what's yours?
I really do like Mr. Quickie in the Caulfield Cup. It's going to get him with a lightweight, and it'll race midfield to a bit closer than that. I think it's a really good chance in the Caulfield Cup as a local horse. Melbourne Cup, unfortunately, right now, mate, I wouldn't have a clue. I just think the internationals hold too much sway in the form of what's going on, and until they actually start racing, you just don't know.
Yeah, no, and we are going to build towards that excitement of the Caulfield Cup.
We will.
Weeks after that, we go into the Melbourne Cup. It was Cox Plate and then the Melbourne Cup. So we'll, as we start to heat up there, we'll do some more in-depth previews to those races. But that's all for our racing segment this week. And as we said, we do have special guest on very shortly in Kirsten Mooney, Thoroughbred trainer herself.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And no doubt she'll be talking spring racing. You know, not this year, but that as a trainer in general, in Thoroughbred racing in general, that's that's where the pinnacle they want to be.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but we must thank, before we go, our great sponsors of the racing show each week. Obviously, the Prince Albert Gawler Hotel, Punt Club, Ladies in Racing Magazine, the Gawler Jockey Club, and Flurio Milk and Co. So all of those sponsors help us put this show on.
And they're growing every week, mate. So
and they all love a punt.
They all love a punt.
So we'll no doubt help try and find them a winner. But been a lot to get through for the racing show this week. Look forward to joining you next week as well. But we've got some big news coming next week in the racing segment. We'll leave it at that for our viewers, but there is some big news on the table. It might be that you're only on for a short stint and I'm joined by a big name in the seat.
Could be the coup of South Australian racing and TV production, I reckon, mate.
Media star on the rise. We'll leave it at that, and we'll touch base again later in the show, but the name will be revealed next week. But a fortnight, they'll be on the show. I won't say male or female.
No.
Thanks, viewers. That's all for our racing show of Racing, Pacing and Chasing. It's been a pleasure to be with you for this week, and we look forward to being back with you this time next week.